We did announce at one point that if you have questions for office hours and you don't have time to join us, because especially for people in Europe, it's quite late right now. It's close to midnight, so I totally understand it. But we do offer on our academy, we have a technical forum. We call it the VOA Community. We have a couple of members there right now, 600 or so. But if you have any questions, by all means, put them there, and we will bring them up here on office hours. And we had just such a question just before I headed out on my trip there, and that was regarding OUs in ConfigMgr sequences. So basically, the idea was that, all right, I want to have machines joining different OUs depending on certain conditions. And there are a couple of ways of doing that. Well, many ways of doing that, but two are more commonly used than others. So I prepared a little demo for that just now before our session here. But if I go to one of my Windows 11 sequences, and normally, OU's assignment is part of the apply network settings action. This is where you define and simply browse and pick an OU where you want machines to be joining. You specify which account that should join those devices in, but this is where you specify that OU. Now, one option, if you only need to select a couple of them, is, for example, to leverage a gather script that gets some extra information about the device. For example, if it's a laptop, desktop, or a server, as a good example, a very common script from Johan Scrivelius that figures that one out based on chassis types in WMI. But those variables are being set, and I can then use that to have different OU settings here. So I basically made two copies of the apply network settings action. And this one, as you can see, is configured to use add them to the workstations OU. You can zoom in here a little bit. So you see that one. And then I put a condition that says, all right, if desktop is true, then that value should be used. And if I go back to the other one, I have it configured for servers. So that will be the OU for servers. And I put a condition that says, if is server equals true, then that one should be used. So very, very simple way of, depending on some sort of criteria, use as a variable, having it apply different, OUs. And this is okay, I think, if you have like 2 or 3 of them. I usually get a little bit upset when I see organizations having like 50 of them with all sorts of different conditions. If you have that, I think it's better to have a script. So in this simplest way, you can have a little script that just sets that OU. It's a built-in variable, part of ConfigMgr, and then when you actually run that apply network step after the fact, that variable is going to be used instead. So then you can have a PowerShell script figure out what OU it should be using depending on, whatever. So these are the two main recommendations we have regarding setting an OU dynamically, and I hope that answered that question in the forum. All right.